Hello and welcome to Nailed On with John and Kris. Today we're going to look at our watch list. So that's our 3 best players that we're going to consider for next week. And we're going to kick the episode straight off with a Man City asset who appears to be somewhat nailed, which is a bit of a rarity. And that man is Diaz. So what do we think of him, Kris?
Yeah, well, it's a bit surprising, isn't it? With Laporte sitting on the bench and Stones coming in. But, is it 6 clean sheets on the bounce, across all competitions for Man City? I should say, really nice run of fixtures for Man City over the next 5 and more than that as well. 5.6 million into that Man City defence is quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, a really nice price point. And for many of us, that's going to be a realistic upgrade or even downgrade for some players to get into those nice City fixtures. So really, really nice option. Their next fixture is at home to West Brom, where City are, I believe, 8-13 best price to keep a clean sheet. In other words, they're more likely than not to keep a clean sheet. So it's a brilliant time to bring him in as well straight away. So that's our first on the watch list for this episode. Now moving on to a midfielder. So this is going to West Ham, another amazing price point, and that is Soucek at just 5 million.
Yeah, well, obviously this is, I can't remember how many managers had him at the start of the season, but he seemed to be the value player or a high value player on the list of players. But he didn't really perform, did he? But especially because of the amount of bad fixtures that West Ham had at the start. But, West Ham's fixtures have got better recently, and he's finally repaying some of the faith the managers had in him. He's still at 5 million, couple of goals in his last 2 games. West Ham are looking pretty good as well. So really good value here, John, isn't it, with Soucek?
It is, yeah. I mean, seeing that goal scoring form at the 5 million price point is amazing because, as you said, I mean, it's just 0.5 million above the base price in the midfield slot, which means you can actually play him as a valid rotational option. You don't need to play him every week. But if you were to do so, his next run of, say, the next 6 fixtures, it wouldn't be bad if he did. He's a brilliant value option and someone that we're definitely going to endorse, and also would make a great enabler for bringing in some of those more desired premium assets.
Yeah, definitely. I should just say that at the moment he's averaging 1.92 shots per 90, which is quite close to Son. I mean, obviously it's not the same level of finishing, is it? But
it's great from a 5 mil
promising
player.
Stats, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so on to the final player of this episode. We're going to look at James Madison, someone who just scored a brace in his last game. And I think a lot of FPL managers are now thinking, okay, is it time to go for Madison? So what do we think on that, Kris?
Probably not just yet. I mean, we're putting him on the watch list because, he scored a brace at the weekend. He's starting to play more in that Leicester team. Obviously, at the start of the season, he had a few niggling injuries and, couldn't break through straight away. But now he's obviously back in the team. He's been a good FPL asset before, in previous seasons, but the fixtures aren't amazing. And at that price point, when you compare him to likes of Grealish and Zaha and stuff like that, I'd value him lower than that. But someone to keep an eye on, and when the fixtures get better, I think, to see how he performs.
Yeah, I completely agree. Really tough fixtures. I mean, just for comparison, anytime goal scorer odds on Madison 7-2. That's actually worse than Soucek, who's at 3-1 in the next game. So he's actually technically less likely to score than Soucek, despite a much higher price point. Yeah. Combine that with the bad fixtures as we enter Christmas as well, an increased chance of rotation. We know that he will get rotated with Barnes, as we've seen in the past. It's one to probably avoid for now, but as Kris said, definitely one to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
So that concludes our watch list today. If you like that, or if you'd like to like our video or drop any questions in the comment section below, please do. And thanks for tuning in once again.
Cheers, guys. See you later.